We know that over the last 3 years, we've seen about a 30% decline in.
You ever think a simple ear of corn could start a trade war? Well, buckle up, because that's exactly what's happening. America's corn is getting rejected. Mexico, burning it. Canada, snatching the entire market. This isn't just a farming issue. It's a geopolitical earthquake. So what the hell just happened? We're witnessing a seismic shift in the heart of North American agriculture. U.S. corn, once the undisputed king of exports, is now under fire from both sides of the border. Mexico has begun outright rejecting U.S. shipments. Some, they're not just returned, they're set on fire. And Canada, it's not wasting a second, rushing in to seize lost market share and lock down new contracts. This isn't a random hiccup. This is the result of deep-rooted policy changes, trade disputes, and cultural tensions, all coming to a boil in 2025. Let's set the scene. Mid-July to early August 2025, Mexico, specifically ports like Veracruz and Progreso, is rejecting U.S. corn by the ton. Shipments flagged over safety violations, pesticide residues, and GM content. Some batches publicly destroyed. We're talking flames and cameras, making sure the world sees it. Meanwhile, Canada, just across the border, starts reevaluating its corn import strategy. By August 3rd, reports emerge. Ottawa launches formal investigations into dumping and unfair U.S. subsidies. Farmers in Manitoba and Saskatchewan cheer. Finally, a chance to grab market territory long dominated by the U.S. It started quietly. Concerns about glyphosate, a controversial weed killer. Mexico had already issued a 2023 decree to phase it out alongside genetically modified corn. But U.S. exporters kept shipping what they'd always shipped, GM corn laced with chemical residues. Then, boom, July 19, 2025, a 20,000-ton shipment is stopped at the port of Veracruz. Inspection reports cite non-compliance with Mexican food safety norms. Local headlines scream, "Toxic corn dumped on Mexico." By July 26th, 2 more shipments are intercepted, this time burned. Yes, burned. The footage spreads like wildfire, corn going up in flames, smoke rising, Mexican flags waving. It wasn't just regulation, it was a message. Meanwhile, in Canada, grain lobbyists file complaints, alleging U.S. exporters are undercutting prices by flooding the market with subsidized grain. Ottawa opens a formal anti-dumping investigation under Canadian trade law, targeting regions west of Ontario, citing regional harm to prairie farmers. This goes back to Mexico's 2020-2023 policy shift, a cultural and political movement called Sin Maíz no hay país. Without corn, there is no country. It's not just about agriculture, it's about identity. Mexico wants to protect its native corn species, cut dependence on GM imports, and eliminate glyphosate. The U.S. tried to fight back, filing complaints under USMCA, the North American Trade Pact. But by 2025, Mexico had already changed the rules. Importers, facing government pressure and new quotas, began rejecting shipments they previously accepted. In Canada, the motive was more economic. U.S. subsidies, especially under 2024 farm bills, allowed American corn to sell below cost. Canadian producers cried foul. How can we compete when they're handing out checks in Iowa? Immediate consequences: tens of thousands of tons of corn stuck at border ports. U.S. exporters lose millions in contracts. Storage silos backed up in Iowa, Illinois, and Nebraska. Mexico, now actively rewriting its corn import rules. They're building partnerships with non-GM producers, including South America and local co-ops. Canada, suddenly seen as a clean alternative. Prairie provinces receive new inquiries for corn exports, previously unheard of at this scale. U.S. farmers, outrage spills across social media. Many demand federal retaliation or subsidies to cover losses. Some accuse both Canada and Mexico of weaponizing food policy. Market impact. Corn futures see volatile swings. Domestic U.S. prices drop due to oversupply. Shipping companies reroute cargo at last minute. Mexico's cultural policy isn't new, but burning rejected corn, that's a whole new level. Some experts call it agro-nationalism, a move to unify rural voters and assert food independence. Canada's investigation isn't ordinary. They're using a regional clause in trade law to focus on damages specific to Western Canada, a legal strategy rarely employed in agricultural disputes. There's rising speculation that Brazil or Argentina may replace the U.S. as Mexico's primary corn supplier, creating new South-South trade corridors. A leaked USDA memo suggests over $2.7 billion in U.S. corn contracts are now at risk due to ongoing rejections and policy shifts. As of August 2025, Mexico has tightened inspection protocols. More than 6 shipments have been destroyed or returned in the past 2 weeks. Talks between U.S. and Mexican agriculture officials have stalled. Meanwhile, Canada is aggressively negotiating contracts with Mexican importers. A major grain alliance was just announced between Saskatchewan exporters and a consortium of Mexican food producers. What's next? Likely USMCA trade hearings, potential retaliatory tariffs from the U.S., and possibly the end of U.S. dominance in North American corn exports. So let's sum it up. America's corn, the gold standard for decades, is getting torched at foreign ports. Mexico says no to GM grain. Canada says yes to the new opportunity. This isn't just about trade, it's about sovereignty, culture, policy, and billions of dollars. And if this continues, we might be looking at the total realignment of agricultural exports in North America. So what do you think? Is the US being unfairly punished? Or did it ignore the writing on the wall? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit subscribe for more global food fights, political showdowns, and economic power plays. And hey, next time you see a cornfield, remember, that ear of corn might just be a loaded weapon in the next trade war.